Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty Bags. I'm going to try to review the Revlon PhotoReady Foundation for you before my camera battery dies on me. So I made a list of pros and cons to keep me on track here. So the pros are, it's got great packaging. 5 stars from me for the packaging. I wish all liquid foundations could be packaged like this. Comes in a glass bottle with a pump, and it's a nice pump. It actually gives you some control over how much product comes out. And it doesn't seem to clog up like some pumps tend to do. It doesn't lock. I like the pumps that you can turn to lock, especially if you're traveling, but it does come with a cap, so I guess that makes up for that. So excellent, excellent packaging. Decent color selection for a drugstore foundation. It's pretty good. I think there are 12 shades altogether. Some drugstore foundations you're lucky if you get 6 shades to pick from, so 12 is pretty good. And it does have a nice finish and a nice formula. It's a fairly liquidy formula, so it's not quite as thick and creamy as others that I've tried. But it does kind of blend on fairly easily and kind of give you a nice smooth finish. Now the cons, first one that springs to mind for me is the price. Here in Canada this sells for about $17 or $18, so you're looking at about 20 bucks by the time you pay the taxes. And that's a lot for a drugstore foundation. Considering that my favorite of all time, the NYC Smooth Skin Foundation, costs like $5 or less at Walmart, $20 feels pretty steep to me for something from the drugstore. Another con that, and this is kind of a major sticking point that I really wanted to point out, is that it's not ideal for a lot of different skin types. So after experimenting with this and trying it on, how I feel about it is that it's going to make dry skin look more dry and oily skin look more oily. So it's got an illuminating shimmer in it, which I think is intended to give you that kind of soft focus, airbrushed kind of look. And that shimmer, if you're oily, will make you look even shinier. And because of the finish of this foundation, it kind of dries to a sort of, I don't want to say powdery, but it's got kind of a satiny sort of finish to it, I guess. And if you've got any kind of dry or rough patches on your skin, it's going to kind of stick there and not want to blend perfectly. And so, yeah, it's just going to highlight dryness. It's also going to make you look more shiny if you're already shiny. So the people that I could see really liking this foundation would be anybody who's got like normal skin that doesn't require a ton of coverage. It's kind of a light to medium coverage. And I would really say that this foundation is all about the finish, not the coverage. So if you've got good skin already and you're just looking for something that's going to kind of make you look polished and perfected, then you might like this. But anybody that's got any kind of skin issues, if you're too oily or too dry, or you wear foundation for coverage, then you might want to take a pass on this one. As for the claim that it's photo ready, I mean, I've heard this foundation named a lot as kind of a cheaper alternative to, say, something like Makeup Forever's HD foundation, you know, being that it's intended to be photographed. I kind of have some hesitation as far as that's concerned, because it does have an SPF, it's SPF 20, and the SPF ingredients in this are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and those are the ones that are notorious for giving you ghost face in photos because they reflect the flash. Now I did test this out just using my regular camera. I put it on and took photos of myself all over my apartment in different lighting situations from different angles, and I'd say 8 times out of 10 it photographed beautifully. And I didn't see ghost face in any of the pictures, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility that it could give you ghost face just because of the SPF. What I did notice in a few of the photos, though, was because of the shimmer. If the flash happens to catch that shimmer just at the right angle, it can make you look a bit greasy, especially through the T-zone, so that's something to watch out for. So I think the reason they're calling this photo ready is because it's meant to give you, like, the finish of the foundation is meant to give you that kind of soft focus, airbrushed look like you would see in a magazine photograph. It's not called photo ready because it's going to photograph well and be a good option if you're having your picture taken, so bear that in mind. All in all, I think I'll probably end up using this foundation kind of as a special occasion foundation, maybe for an evening out, or just at times when my skin is good and maybe I have an event to go to and I want to look kind of polished, but I don't require a lot of longevity, because the staying power of this foundation is kind of average. It doesn't last as long on my skin as my NYC Smooth Skin, for example, but then I am oily, so bear that in mind. Again, it would probably last longer on somebody with normal skin. I did get better results with this foundation when I used a primer. It seemed to go on a little smoother and last a little longer. So I would give it maybe about a 3 out of 5. It's not a horrible foundation, but for my skin type it's just really not the ideal formula, and I could see it not being ideal for lots of other people too. If you're in that very small range of the population that has perfect skin and you just want kind of a polished look, then maybe give this a try, but I think there's better options out there at the drugstore, and definitely better options price-wise. So I hope you found this review useful. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.